cracking. See if I can get this volume together. Make sure everything is right here. Volume up. Light up. What's that about? Light. Nothing better like that. Hands up here, you already know how to do. Start the joint with some high vibration. I know how we do like to set the show off with some high vibration music.
I can race for hours and hours and don't stop. I can fly us to the highest mountain top. I can breathe you, I can drink in your life. I can live on your spine. I can trip and I can fall into your arms. I can stay there my whole life. I can love, I can be there with you. With you, for real, for real. I can hear, I can feel, I can see, I can tell you, for real. Oh, I can live, I can love, I can be there with you. For real, for real. I can hear, I can feel, I can see, I can tell you, for real. I can stare, I can memorize your face, your hands, your hair, every part of you.
Leave some comments if you want to hunt with your boy. Nice shit right here, you hear me?
I can feel you just singing in my ear when I say your name.
We're gonna get one of the ancestors to rock out with you. Grateful.
I can hear, I can feel, I can see, I can tell you, for real. I can feel, I can love, I can be better with you. For real, for real. I can hear, I can feel, I can see, I can tell you, for real. I can tell, I can't take like a child. Can't just say it was wild without you.
Yeah, we're gonna rock out with the Buddha. We're gonna rock out with the Buddha song. You got the end of the song. Yeah, we're gonna do chapter 5, Secure the Throne, Eli Markus. The background track. The last one I did was on the 15th, the Nipsey. We did a joint for Nipsey's birthday, which is August 15th. So that's the actual last video. Was on the 15th. Let me bring that back one more time. Some Mellow Rule. Might be too old for a lot of y'all. You know what I mean? Might went back too much for some of y'all.
I can run, I can race for hours and don't stop. I can fall, I can fly to the highest mountain top. I can breathe you, I can drink in your life, I can live on your spine. I can trip and I can fall into your arms, I can stay in my heart. I can live, I can love, I can be better with you, for real, for real. I can hear, I can feel, I can see, I can tell you, for real. Oh, I can live, I can love, I can be better with you, for real, for real. I can hear, I can feel, I can see, I can tell you, for real. I can stare, I can memorize your face, your hands, your hair, every part of you. I can cut off any old sand, not even wanna give you. I know exactly who I'm gonna bring out.
I'm gonna bring out my cousin R.I.P.
I can hear a million angels singing in my ear when I say your name. For real. I can hear, I can feel, I can see, I can tell you. For real. I can feel, I can love, I can be better with you. For real, for real. I can hear, I can feel, I can see, I can tell you. For real. I can't smile, I can't think like a child. Can't feel safe in this world without you. I can't go into this flow.
Just celebrated his life the other day. I got to my little brother. Okay. They got that part with us too. With the booty. My boy, he's busy. Yo, leave a comment if you want the video, leave a comment, you know you want it. Yo, every video I start with an intro. You know the vibes. Start with a nice little high vibrational tone. You know what I'm saying? Some high vibrational music, ultimately, is how we start the videos. Most of the times it's my music or you know, some of my favorite hip hop. But I figured today I would start with some R&B. Why? Because it's Monday, the moon's day, and we all know that the moon is what? Feminine. At its essence. All right. So with that being said, you know what we do. Right now we're doing a book review for my boy, Markus, who's a legend. Secure the Throne. If you haven't read this book, ultimately, you haven't read this book unless you ordered it from him because you got to get it directly from him. So I know this is why I actually did the book review or doing the book review because I know that most people haven't actually read the book, right? Or know him personally to actually order it from him. So let me just make sure that this is chapter 5 that we on and not chapter 6 because it might be chapter 6. Let me see. Let me go over here, my channel. Boom. chapter 4. Oh yeah, no. So this is chapter 6. So I'm gonna have to edit the after the video's over, I'll edit it and go back because we did chapter 5 already. So we definitely are on chapter 6, which means that we're almost done with the book. So if you missed any of the other reviews I did, we did chapter 1, which is well, we did the introduction, which is there's a seat for every ass. Chapter 1, first things first. Chapter 2, position yourself to dominate. Chapter 3, tribalism versus alpha tribalism. Chapter 4, racial versus tribal consciousness. Chapter 5 is how to build an alpha tribe. And now chapter 6 is escaping the cyclical trauma and emotionalism. So, um, yeah, so just to kind of give you a briefing over, there's a seat for every ass. Ultimately, what that kind of means is that a seat for every ass. Absolutely, we're definitely grateful. We're grateful. We always got to be grateful. Grateful and gratitude is going to get you a long way. You know what I'm saying? No matter where you at in life, you got to be grateful because somebody out there is wishing they could be you. What I mean by that is if you're sleeping on somebody's couch, there's somebody actually sleeping outside, right? And they wish that they could be sleeping on somebody's couch. If you're living in your vehicle, like I did for four months, um, there's somebody out there that's actually, probably living in an abandoned home, and wishing that they could had a vehicle to live in. So, you have to be grateful because no matter where you are in life, there is somebody that's dying to switch positions with you because they feel their life is worse. So when you're not grateful and you don't show gratitude, then when gratitude is not the attitude, then ultimately you end up with leftovers. So, uh, you know, that even goes into and again, just being grateful. When I was living in my car, I was grateful. I was grateful for um, to have money to be able to afford gas. I was grateful to be able to, you know, to make the moves I was able to make. Because being able to get from point A to point B in a matter of minutes, right? I was grateful for I was grateful for the gym, right? I had a gym membership. Definitely put some weight on. Not only did I put weight on, I was able to take a shower, right, every day. Brush my teeth in the shower. Um, so it pretty much ended up being a vibe for me because it helped me get on my feet. And then I went from the car to the hotel, living in the hotel, which was a blessing as well. Why? Because everything's included when you living in a hotel, right? $400. I was paying $400 a week. I had Wi-Fi. I had a fridge. I had a stove. See what I'm saying? I was able to take a shower. I had cable, right? And I didn't have no really other bills outside of my cell phone bill. But it almost equates when you live in a hotel. It's also almost equates to having an apartment. The reason I say that is because let's say you do pay $1,200 for rent, then when you add in the lights, internet, whatever your the other essentials that you may need, it's going to total out to about 1,600 to 1,800, right? Maybe even 2,000. So you could pay 1,600 a month and have everything included. It's a blessing. You gotta be grateful. So I was grateful for the hotel. Just be grateful, man. Gratitude gotta always be the attitude, no matter what you're going through. Some people wish they had your job. You know what I'm saying? You probably got a job that you don't even like right now, or doing something that you don't want to be doing. But just be grateful, and then be open to receive. Though, don't be to the point where you're not evolving or you're not elevating. But definitely be grateful because somebody out there wish that they had your spot. All right. So with that being said, chapter 1 was first things. Okay, so there's a seat for every ass was more the introduction. Chapter 1 was first things first, right? And then chapter 2, position yourself to be dominant. And then chapter 3, tribalism versus alpha tribalism. So alpha tribalism is really aligning with people of high value. So there's a difference between just having friends and then having high value friends. Some people have had the same friends since high school, and y'all don't have any businesses together. The most y'all do together is go out, have drinks, you know, have like go out, like, have drinks, concerts, and things like that. But you know, you need those. You definitely need a tribe of individuals who are high value, who could care less about their drinks, right? They want to know what's our next move as far as what businesses we launching. They want to know what's the best stock to put in their portfolio right now. They want to know um, the ROI on their latest investment. They want to know how to attain business credit and help you do the same. They want to know how to, what's the new passive. When you guys go out to eat with your high value friends, the conversations are different. They want to know, like, what should they be looking forward to as far as their portfolio and things of that nature. All right. So understand there's a difference between your childhood friends and then individuals of high value, or what we call alpha tribalism. And what I consider alpha tribalism is literally the best of the best, right? You want to be around the best people that are great at whatever they master, whatever they do, um, whatever is their life's calling. They're tapped into it. They do it at a high level. You want those people to be your friends, and you have to be intentional to make these kind of friendships. If you just think you're gonna, hang out with the kids that you graduated school with and you've been around, or it's cool to have those friends as well, but you have to set out. That's your tribe, but then you need to create an alpha tribe, and the alpha tribe is what's going to help you get to the next level in life. So there's levels in life, right? And most of us are surviving, we're not thriving. So the difference, I know you guys saw me go through my initiation for the mastermind event. It wasn't an event. It's a society of elite thinkers who are from different places on the planet, and we meet up every 90 days in a secret place, and we discuss ideals and philosophies and different ways to channel our mindset and transmutate and go from one level to the next. I can't really tell you too much because it's sacred, it's secret. But what I did realize is that 90, 80. I tell you the math all the time. You have the 85ers and you have the 15%ers. This is divine mathematics. The universe is 85% void of things, meaning nothing is there. When you look in the skies and the heavens, you see specks of stars and planets and shit like that, right? But then you see blackness, you see the sky in the back, right? That's void of things. There's nothing there. 85% of the universe is void of things. The planets, the stars, the asteroids, the comets, the dust, the molecule, the things that you can see with the physical eye only make up 15% of the sky, or 15%. That goes for anything, even in the ocean, right? It's 85% water, 15% rocks, animals, things of that nature. So these mathematics are divine and they're universal. The reason I say that is because out of every 100 people you meet, only 15 of those people are going to be of an elite status. Only 15 out of 100 people will be divinely guided. Only 15 out of 100 people can you consider alphas, right? This is why 85% of the planet goes to work for who? The other 15%. 15% of the planet owns the buildings. 15% of the planet owns the businesses, right? 15% of the planet owns the real estate, the house you're living in. 85% of the people pay rent, not mortgage. If you see what I'm saying? So this is a universal mathematic or a mathematical equation. My point is just that you have to be intentional when it comes to aligning with alphas, right? You have to be intentional when it comes to aligning with alphas, right? So what I'm going to do is, God has said, well, I look nervous. Love, I never look nervous. You need to focus on what I'm talking about in this video and stop worrying about how I'm looking. This is what I do. I'm an MC. Yeah. Why are you inboxing me when you can leave the comment right there in the video? Stop being a weirdo, right? Somebody let her know I'll put her right in her place, please. But yeah, there's no reason for me to be nervous. This is what I do. I'm an MC. That shit means move the crowd. I've been doing this since a young boy, right? Standing in front of thousands of people and speaking and giving divine messages and shit. This shit is nothing to me. I think you're looking at a little bit into too much into me and not the message. All right. So again, if you leave any comments, leave them right here in the joint so I can address them. Don't run to my Facebook. You know. So check this out. We're gonna get into chapter 6 of Secure the Throne. Boom. All right. And remember what I told you before. Make sure that you write in your books, because when you write in your books, it activates what? The right side of your brain, which is the visual side. It helps you retain information. So a lot of times we just read and read and read and read and read, and we read on and we read on and we read on. And it's hard for us to retain the information, right? Unless you have an extremely great memory. Now, the reason that you want to write in your books, again, because it's more of a hieroglyph. And when you write, again, it connects to the right side of your brain, which is the visual side, right? And then you have, or the side also known as the totality, the one that where you see things as you see the whole picture. I always give the example of for the right side and the left side of the brain. The left side is um, um, segregation or separative thinking. So what do I mean by that? If I was a teacher and I wrote on the board, I said, Travis rode the bike to the store, right? Just Travis rode the bike to the store. It's all left side. You see the words, you're seeing each word for what it is. Now, the right side would literally see somebody cycling the bike on the way to the store. The right side will literally see the person riding the bike to the store. That's the difference between the left hemisphere of the brain and the right hemisphere of the brain. The right hemisphere is more intuitive. The left hemisphere is more logical. The left hemisphere of the brain is more masculine, and the right side or the right hemisphere of the brain is more feminine. All right. This is why females are more intuitive than men, but men are more logical than females, right? And then when you have the sacred union, because I know people think the sacred union is one person that's equally balanced. But from my experience, the sacred union is when you have a female who's in her divine feminine energy and a male who's in his divine masculine energy, and then they come together where he's God body and she's goddess body, or both being God body, right? But her being supremely intuitive and him being supremely logical, and then they coming together to make that sacred union. So we call that sacred union spiritual alchemy. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get into what my boy Eli said. I do a lot of pausing so I can literally explain the book from how I see it, because it's all perspective, right? And then, again, like I said, I write in my books. So a lot of times when I underline the stuff, I'll pause right there and kind of dive deep into what it meant to me. All right, so chapter 6 of Secure the Throne, my boy Eli says, Roachism can have value. So remember, the name of this chapter is Escaping Cyclical Trauma and Emotionalism. So let's kind of just dive into what does that mean before we even start reading. Cyclical or cyclical, it means rotating. It's mean you're experiencing, okay, and then the word trauma and emotionalism. So you're experiencing the same trauma over and over and over again, okay? You're experiencing the same traumas over. If you're experiencing the same traumas over and over again, then this chapter right here is going to help you escape that way of thinking. Because a lot of people keep doing the same things over and over and over again and getting the same results. So let me just give you an example. You want to be wealthy, right? Let me use myself. If I wanted to be wealthy and I had only a 9 to 5 and I knew mathematically, let's deal with math because it's more factual than, it's more right and exact than your perspective, right? Your perspective doesn't matter in the world of universal law. right? It is what it is. As the goddess, one of the goddess on my social media, she went into, um, there's God, there's God, and then there's God. So there's the God that's within, and then you are a fractalization of that oneness, or that zero-ness, or that nothingness, as I would call it. You're a fractalization of that, right? And it is what it is. Like the divine one, the divine spirit, it is what it is. It's really everything that exists, right? So with that being said, um, my boy says roachism can have value for individuals who know how to milk and manipulate their usage. So what I was getting into for myself was, if I wanted to be wealthy and I wanted to get out of a cyclical trauma, right? And then that means I would have to do something different, especially if we know the average six-figure earner who's self-made, a self-made six-figure earner has what? 7 streams of income. The average six-figure earner that's self-made. See that? Self-made, that means you wasn't born into wealth. So that means nobody makes it on their own. You need other people to pass you money to become successful or to become wealthy. So when we say self-made, we don't mean you did it all by yourself. What it means is that you wasn't born into wealth and you became wealthy in your lifetime. That's considered self-made, right? So to be a six-figure earner and be self-made, the average six-figure earner that's self-made has 7 streams of income. So if all you have is a job, then you're not escaping the cyclical trauma that is based on survival and just making enough to make ends meet, right? Because you're doing the same thing over and over. You're going to work to the same job over and over and over and over and over, and you're getting the same results. Your check, even if they gave you a $2 raise, that's not really going to make a major difference, right? In your lifestyle. Let's be honest. So, this is why you need to strive to have, if you want to be a self-made six-figure earner, 7 streams of income. I didn't say 7 big businesses or 7 LLCs, right? We said 7 streams of income, right? And we'll get more into that later. I talk about that all the time. So right now is not the time. And then if you want to be a self-made millionaire, guess how many streams the average millionaire has who's self-made? 20 streams of income. So if all you have is a job, then you cannot escape the cyclical trauma of just surviving and going to the next level, which is thriving, right? You're watching all these millionaires on Instagram, right? And a lot of them are just lifestyle marketing. So that means that they're not legit millionaires, right? They're just taking pictures in front of people's cars, but you do have in front of people's houses. But what you do have is you have legit millionaires who got it out the mud, and legit six-figure earners who got it out the mud. And what I do want to do is I want to congratulate the divine feminine, because the fastest growing genre of gender and race is the Black woman, right? Black women or women of color are they're making the most self-made six-figure earners and millionaires on the planet right now. Okay, so, and a lot of that comes from work from home. See, the world is transitioning to a work from home type of deal, right? Especially entrepreneurism. Everybody's making their money online. People are fixing credit. People are doing life insurance. People are selling signals like me, right? All that's digital. So they don't have to leave the house. All they got to do is promote on Facebook or Instagram. So the thing is that kills me is some people have so much pride that they don't want to sell nothing on Instagram or Facebook, while the people that do and have enough, and that do have enough pride, right? Because again, it's the alter ego. Some people have so much pride that they can't get out their own way because they scared of what other people think. And then some people have so much pride, they don't care what other people think. And those be the entrepreneurs that break through, like me. Okay. I don't care. I didn't care what people think. Even my own family told my dad when I went to visit my dad on Father's Day. Right, I've only seen my dad 2 times in the last 20 years, and the last time I seen him was this Father's Day. I went to see him, right, and his thing was, son, the whole family down south. Now these people, they know me, but they don't really know me, right? I left down south when I was 10, to come up here to the north. I got family up here too. My family's from New York, ultimately from New York and South Carolina, right? That's the majority of my family's from those two states. So when I left South Carolina to come up here, the family down south, they don't really know the grown me. All they see is me online. They remember little Travis, and they told my dad. My dad lives over in Ohio, and they told him, yeah, your son, he's online, man. He's always trying to get people to see, peace to the God. He's always trying to get people online and send him money. They said it from an angle as if I was like scamming, like, they're not only scamming, but begging people to spend their money with me. Right. So he's like, he asked me, he said, so son, I got to ask you because, I'm old school. He like, is what you be doing online real? Is the stuff you're saying real? I said, absolutely. He said, show me your bank account. So I went and showed him my bank account. It was close to 100 grand. Right. And he was like, damn. He was like, wow, sign me up right now. And he went upstairs and he pulled out a wad of hundreds like this. And my dad is out in Ohio, and Chaz helped me out. Where my dad live? Because Chaz, you're in. I went out there, and Chaz is a part of Trillionaires Club, and we trade sports. I also met up with her. She showed me around. She brought me to the Cleveland Browns Stadium. She showed me mad shit, to the fucking rock and roll shit. She showed me a lot of things. My dad is in Columbus, so yeah, my dad is in Columbus. And he lives in these projects in Columbus, and he like pretty much runs the projects. Now, he's been there for 15, 20 years. My sister was raised there. Matter of fact, even when I walked into the projects, everybody kind of knew me. Like, oh, you Mike's son. He been telling us a lot about you. You're the sports betting dude. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. So my dad pretty much is the OG. He always been hip. He always been cool. He just to give you an example of the people that he looked up to when I was young, coming up, was Ric Flair, Deion Sanders. My dad always been flying flashy. You see me, right? Rings on every finger. That shit come from my dad. 7, 8 chains on. I probably got 10 on right now. But, that shit come from my dad. He had a mink for every day of the week. He like, in the winter, I wear that. He had the minks, and then they had the different color fur around the collar. Like, that's just him. But my dad is out there. What he do is he let people borrow money, and he get back interest. So if he lets you hold 1,000, you got to give him back 1,400 in 21 days. Right? So he had a wad like this the whole time. He could have been signed up to We Trade Sports, but my family talked down on my name so much, and they don't even know me, that even though he had all that money, he didn't join We Trade Sports until I went to his house and literally logged into my Bank of America account. Right? So when he seen all them fucking zeros and all them thousands is when he was like, damn, I guess what you doing online is really real. And that's when he told me the shit about the family. Like, yeah, man, down south, they were saying, I had to see for myself, because the way they talking, like, you ain't got it. Like you were begging people online, right? And I get it. Some people, even though they're online all day, and you ever hear that saying? You have those who, there's 3 sets of people. You got those who don't know what happened, those who watched it happen, and those who made it happen. So those who don't know what happened, they're not like, it's like if you don't own any crypto, right? So it's like, you don't know nothing about crypto, right? So of course you're not going to get rich off of XRP, or you didn't get rich off of Dogecoin, Ethereum, or Bitcoin, right? Because you don't even know about it. You don't know nothing about the blockchain. You don't know nothing at all, because you're just a regular person. All you do is go to work, come home, watch TV, go to sleep, go to work tomorrow. Those people are pretty much what Kanye was talking about when he said slavery is a choice. They chose to be slaves to society because they don't even know what the fuck is going on out here. They don't understand that the world has changed. Like, niggas is not thinking about money per hour no more. They thinking about how much money can I make today, right? I be having $2,000 and $3,000 days, and people are still talking about $15 an hour, $20 an hour. My assistant, you'll see Claire, she'll say, oh, look what I did, 15 minutes, I'm done. $2,378 copying a trade from an expert trader, right? So she don't even have to know how to trade. She's copying somebody who's an expert, and she paid that person, and today she made $2,342 in 7 minutes, right? And then you still got people who are like, oh, well, I got a good job, like I make $25 an hour, like, and people who don't know what the fuck is going on, people who watch it happen. So you got people who know what's going on and they refuse to get involved. I believe out of the 85%, 50% of the people know what's going on because they nosy as fuck and they're on the line all day and they're watching the shit happen, but they FOMO. For one, fear of missing out, right? They see it happening and they want to do it, but they feel like they missed out on their shot, so they don't get started. So the whole time while they're watching, the shit is just, everything is just going up and up and up, and people are making more money and more money, and they're kind of waiting for their turn, but their turn never comes because they never get started. That's called FOMO. Those people, and then you have people like me, nigga, who get it done in real life, right? And other people on this chat that get it done in real life. You could be online making all these wise quotes and sharing powerful statuses, because what I'm realizing is a lot of people spend most of their energy talking about relationships online. So that too is, to me, is and I do the same, right? I'll talk about relationships, but notice how I intertwine what I'm trying to manifest for myself. For me, it's not me trying to teach nobody nothing. If you go on my page every day, I intentionally manifest automation and disappearing with my significant other. Intentionally, I make sure I do it at least once a day because I'm working magic. I'm doing my magic, right? So I'm preparing people for the day when my shit is to the point where, my vision, 100,000 a month, automation, meaning all I'm doing is sending signals. You ain't even got to see my face. It's going to get to a point where I'm on Instagram and I got a fucking mask on. You think I'm kidding? I'm going to have a fucking mask on. It's probably going to be a honorable ancestor. It's probably going to be a mask, some shit like this. I'm going to have a fucking mask on. And niggas y'all gonna know it's me, but the world ain't. And be like, yeah, man, it's your boy, man, Trillionaire Trav. Yeah, man, just last month, man, I made 287,000. You know what I'm saying? If you want to copy my signals, the link is below. Disappear again. Me and wifey all over the world, or my wives. You already know how I'm moving, right? We're not, at the end of the day, I'm the type of person, like, I want to be unorthodox. If everybody's doing this, I want to do that. So, it's not because I know when people think of poly, they think, oh, you just want to fuck mad bitches. Like, oh, nigga, I've been doing that. It's me. Trillionaire. Like, I've been doing that. That's nothing to me. That's like, honestly, when people start talking poly, it's because they don't want to do that no more. They rather not have sex with 10 or 12 different women and have them all in rotation, have to make up lies. That shit costs a lot of money. If I got to take you on a date, then take her on a date, then take her on a date, then take her on a date, and then help her with her light bill, then her car need to be fixed, and then this need to happen, and this person need a loan, nigga, you will be broke. That's why most men can't get their life together, because they got too many females in their life, and they're not focused in on one or the top 2 or 3 favorite. Now, remember, if you're not married, you should be dating multiple people anyway. That's your stupidity, that you're really pouring all this potential happenings into this one person until you find out something that you don't like. And now you done wasted 2.5 years and y'all ain't even married. Anyway, this is not about me. It's not about poly. What I'm just saying is, I might have one wife. I might have 2 or 3. Who knows? I just know that, I'm going to be worth enough money to make that decision and everybody going to be happy. That's what I do know, right? So my point is just that, again, you have people who don't know what's going on, people who know and watch it happen, and then the people that's getting it done. And with this internet, There's so many millions, right? Like Meek Mill said, this is the easiest time in human existence to be a millionaire, right? Like now 6 figures is like back in the days when you had a real good job, like a real good job, like back in the 80s and 90s. If you was making 30 an hour, 40 an hour, like, you pretty much was around 6 figures. You was that deal. Now that's the new norm. 6 figures is the new normal. If you're around 20, 30, like nobody even sees you, nobody cares, like you're normal. And there's nothing wrong with being normal. Remember we talked about gratitude being an attitude, because you got to be grateful to make 30,000 to even be able to achieve 100. And you got to be grateful for making 100 to even be a millionaire. But my point is, we evolving and we growing, and we know what time we're in, especially those who are spiritually in tune and know that we're in the age of the Aquarius. And what does that usher in according to the ancestors? Whether you're talking about Egypt, Kemet, or you're talking about the Olmecs or Mayans or the Aztecs or the Incas in the Americas, these are or the Tainos in Puerto Rico and DR, the Arawaks, right? All of these are indigenous melanated people who left scrolls and writings behind that said, in the age of the Aquarius, we will usher in the divine feminine will come back. That means the woman will rule the planet again. The divine feminine energy will rule the planet, just not women, period. Like just physical women. Because remember, magnetism is a feminine presence that exists within nature, right? Matter, right? I'm talking about matter. I'm talking about from the scientific aspect. Right? Electricity will be considered masculine because it shoots outward. Magnetism, anything that real shit in, the law of attraction and the law of magnetism. You see how all that's coming back? Oh, the law of attraction and the law of magnetism. You got to learn how to attract and you got to learn how to manifest. Like all of that's feminine shit, right? You're bringing it to you. You know how to bring things into your existence. That's all divine feminine energy, being intuitive. Then they also said we will be in the age of what? Digitalization. There will be an enhanced way to do business that faster, right? Faster, more powerful, digital, 0110, right? Quantum physics, things happening quick. Now I don't gotta go to the bank, pull the money out, bring it to you if you need to use $100. I can say, what's your phone number? You give it to me in a text. That fast, you got the money. That shit was not going on in the early 2000s. I had to go withdraw and bring the money to you. Now I can just press a button and send you fucking $500 in seconds. So, be careful of people who don't know what time we're living in. I had a female tell me that her daughter plays basketball, right? And this is not a shade because she's my friend, but, she could never be my wife. Reason being, she's out of alignment. She said, my daughter plays basketball. She has these cookies or whatever they're selling. They're about to travel out of state, but they need funding, right? Would you like to make a donation? I said, absolutely. What's the Cash App? She said, oh no, I don't do none of those things. Like I don't do none of that. I'm old school. I said, well, you won't be getting no money from me because I'm not coming to your house to make a fucking donation in 2020, 2022, 2023. When I could just press a button and send you. I wanted, the donation was $5. I was going to send her 50. She said she don't have no way to receive the money. She'll see me after work. No, you won't. You won't see me because that shit kind of like let me know like where her mind is at. And she's not always complaining, but I see why she's stagnant in life. I see why she doesn't manifest at a high level. She's out of alignment. Right? She don't even fucking have Cash App. And that's the lowest of the low. Like everybody got Cash App, right? No, I don't have Cash App. I don't like linking my cars to stuff and all of this. Well, you don't like money then, right? So, that just goes back into cyclical trauma and emotionalism. Her reason for not having Cash App was because she doesn't like connecting her card. You hear me? So because she doesn't like it, right? She's been traumatized in some type of way. For one, if you never had the app, how do you know you don't like it? Fear, false expectations appearing real. People be scared of the things that they've never even tried before. And that shit is, but that goes back into not knowing what age we in. And we not, this is not a shot at her because a lot of y'all up here don't got an online business. So this goes into, this teaching goes, this shit is for you too. You up there talking all day about how, how to have a good relationship and what a real man look like and what a high value man look like. And for the vice versa for the men, what a high value woman look like and all of this shit. But you out of alignment. You're out of alignment. All you doing is this online or sharing other people's thoughts. That's another negative. People that share all day. If I go on your page and I notice that you never put together a paragraph, it means you never really used your own thoughts in this digital world. This is why if you go to my page, I just started sharing statuses, right? And I share them into my group, which is the Trillionaires Club, which is an alpha tribe. So even if you're having trouble to find a tribe, you could just join Trillionaires Club. There's tons of people in there with different ways of thinking that's going to evolve your game. And as you're in that group every day, you're going to be learning new things. You're going to be learning different things. And it's going to expand your mind to the point where you're going to feel more confident about life because jewels is being dropped every day. So my point is, if you don't have your own alpha tribe, align with the tribe that's already in motion. I did that for y'all already. I had to do that because I was tired of teaching. I just got back to doing these videos. I used to get blocked I'm blocked right now from going live for a month. Why you think I haven't went live on Facebook? I'm blocked for a month. I got watch this. Let's see how many more days I got left of being blocked. Eight more days. It's been 30 days, so 22 days. I haven't went live. I got 8 more days before I can go live. But even right now, I get up here, right? The first thing I see is people posting their kids at basketball practice, sitting on the sink, right? Showing them how fat their ass is. None of this is contractual or transactional. I usually block a lot of these people, but some of these people got a lot of potential. But look, this right here, you see this? Look. This is what they do all day. Share. Somebody else. Now, this is a divine being right here. She drops high gems, her and her husband, on sacred unions and how to set up businesses online to be life coaches, right? Masculine men don't argue with women, she says. They direct, they correct, they hold you, and they heal you, but they will not mirror your emotional state, okay? And then you got people who just share other people's shit all day. Share all day. Share. Like, come on, when are you going to get your own thought process going in? When are you going to become a part of the digital world? When are you going to build your own throne, your own empire, right? Stop standing on the shoulders of everybody else and get busy. And again, the reason, I don't give a fuck what you do, really, right? Do what the fuck you want to do because everybody's destiny is different. My point is, you're not a part of this, what we consider the high or the ascendants, right? Coptic Ethiopians will call them the Essenes, the Gnostics, the Magi's, the alchemists. You're not a part of that conversation because Essenes, alchemists, Nazarenes, what they do is they come through and they change the energy. Wherever they go, they shift the energy, right? They make everything better when they come around, right? They make everybody wealthier when they come around. You're not a part of that conversation because you don't understand. But again, it's not your destiny. So for me, it's all about alignment, right? And this is how I pick and choose. This is how I know, okay, I can automatically from a conversation or going on somebody's page know that she might be marriage material for somebody else. And they may have a beautiful life together. But for me, she can never be my wife, right? Because just where I'm at with it, right? I'm on a whole nother, but I do see ones that I'm like, damn, she powerful, right? I like leaders of people. So for me, and that goes back into being intentional with alpha tribalism, I don't want the student in the yoga class. I want the teacher. I want the life coach, not her students. There's not, there's somebody out there for them though, right? It's just like the guy that said, let me go into the Trillionaires Club. I just want to read one status from KK, right? Um, who's part of the tribe, a high vibrational being, right? But it's tons of us though, so it's mad of us. But I'm gonna find the status in the Trillionaires Club group, right? And we're gonna see what I'm talking about. So this is not somebody who shares statuses. This is somebody who creates their own statuses and people share their statuses. She's wifey material. That's pretty much what I'm saying. People like Katie, right? Saucy Spice. These women are wifey material for an alpha male, though, right? They're leaders of women. Even Chastity, leaders of women. They're leaders. Okay. So I'm gonna just read a status that KK wrote that I shared. She said, and this is about men of power, right? So a lot of women don't even know what they want out of men. They just know, I want a man, and men ain't shit, and all they want to do is this, and and all they want to do is that, and where's your crib? Like, oh, I see that a lot. Like, why can't I ever go over your crib? Because you're not attracting men who have their own crib. That's why, silly. What are you talking about? Like, if you don't know a man with his own spot, you got to ask yourself, what type of men do you know? And do you attract? And vice versa. Anyway, she says, I will absolutely, positively, with intention, marry a man of power. One who is known for his righteous acts and respected for his honorable endeavors. One whose reputation precedes him. An average man will never do for me. Even though there are amazing men who are average, the man I marry will not be average. He will be a legend in his field. This is not simply a desire, it's a necessity for me that best it suits the woman who I am and the power that I possess. Being blessed with his covering will bring me great joy and pride. So notice, the reason I'm reading the status is because notice this is not a nigga ain't shit. Oh, all niggas do is cheat and I can't find me a man. And no, she's telling you the type of man that she's manifesting and the only type of men that she deal with, and that she yields a certain power. So this is how she knows for a fact this is the type of man that she's going to have because of the power that she yields. It ain't about him. It's about her. It is about him, but the way she's going to get him is through aligning because she's a high level being, right? Being blessed with his covering will bring me great joy and pride. People will know when they see me, they see him. There will be a certain level of respect that I am granted outside of my own endeavors and righteousness simply because of my husband. I will be protected even when he's not around because of his connections, and his resources will be extended to me and our children. This will make me very proud. I will amplify his energy and what he embodies, and I will embrace what he exudes, and then I will multiply it as he provides. To the Most High, this is my affirmation made in full clarity and with divine confidence. Come on, man. I share these shits in the Trillionaires Club chat to show you that there's women on another level. While you talking about niggas ain't shit, there's women like this saying, listen, I need a man of power, right? Ultimately, one who's extremely successful, a man who's so powerful, even when he's not around, I'm protected. People will open doors for me, pull out chairs for me, ask me if I'm okay, and make sure that the environment is safe, even when he's not around. That's a whole different level than niggas ain't shit, right? So I'm just, just putting that out there. Just putting it out there. All right, because we got to escape this trauma and emotionalism. Trauma bonding, right, was one of the things that I learned that people that survive do. People that's thriving don't trauma bond. I don't want to hear, when you call me or when we talk, I don't want to hear bad news every time. I don't want to hear, oh, I'm tired and this is hurting me and I can't do this. And why is this happening? And oh, I might just have bad luck. Then stay the fuck away from me then. Because I don't want it. I don't want bad luck. I want somebody that's high vibrational, that's always getting shit done. That's fucking getting massages and facials and shit. In the sauna, taking trips and vacations. Those are the type of people I want. That's always got good and positive news. That's telling me when I want to spill bad news all the time, but even though I don't, because I'm intentional about that. Let's just say I was complaining a little too much about something. Let's say a girl broke my heart. I thought she was the one. I'm calling her my other friend, because you can have this another thing too. You don't have, as a male, you don't have to be having sex with every female in your cipher. You can really have friends. That's women. And women, you can really have friends. That's men with no intentions of being sexual. Everything's not about sex. Okay? But the reason I'm saying that is because let's say I wanted to call one of my female friends and talk to them about my relationship, but it's like, okay, we had this conversation yesterday and the day before. Nigga, I don't want to hear that shit no more. What are we going to do about it? That's the type of friends I want. Okay, so what are you going to do about it? Because that automatically puts you in solution mode, right? Solution type thinking. Anyway, let's get into it. My boy said roachism can have value for individuals who know how to milk and manipulate their usage. High value people gossip about strategy, not other people. High value people know how to monetize trauma without feeding into it. You are not healed or self-mastered until someone can summon your pain body to the forefront and you resist the urge to surrender to the call. In order to do so, you must do what? Stay on post, stay on task, and stay in sync with the mission. This summoning of your body pain results in convincing yourself to abandon the post. It's a scam. What's a scam? Black Lives Matter was a scam. You was marching in the streets more for black people that you don't know than you've been marching for your own business. You never took your business to the streets. You never walked through the streets with your business card and just passed it out to numerous people, man. You see what I'm saying? You never took your business, your throne as serious as you did the murder of somebody who was killed by a cop, even though yesterday and the day before that, and the day before that, and the day before that, somebody was killed by somebody black around the corner. You ain't marched for them. So what you did was you trauma bonded. You seen a lot of people crying, take it to the streets, and you took it upon yourself to join them. But you don't do that for your own family, your own businesses that you got, or your family business. You might have somebody in your family who owns a business. You never passed out their card. You never took it to the streets for them. Right? So no, we're not doing that. Like he said, that type of trauma bonding gets you off post. Right? That has nothing to do with your destiny. Not unless you're a fucking civil rights activist and you have some type of nonprofit and that's what you do. If that's not you, then stay in your fucking lane. Because when you abandon your post, I underlined it, and you wander aimlessly into the gutter of your psyche to search for missing pieces of your mommy and daddy issues and child wounds that you have, and countless exes who broke your heart, and the wolves that came to come. And when you do that, there's some wolves waiting to come take your stuff from you as you unattend your post. So that goes back into while you're online all day, sharing stupid shit, laughing all day, TikTok videos, people dancing and all of this shit, right? It's cool to indulge, But you have to do what? Secure the throne while you're doing that. Because if you don't, somebody else is doing what? Taking your customers. You and somebody else share a particular talent. You might do nails, hair, and makeup. But you up here on Facebook and Instagram sharing shit all day, and there's somebody that's just like you who does the same things you do, and they ain't doing that. They're sharing pictures of the nails they're doing. They're taking your customers while you abandon your posts. The wolves come in to devour all that work that you've been doing to secure the throne. So even if you was promoting your business, soon as you get off post to trauma bond, there's some people that's waiting for you to fall off so they can come get your clients, man. Then when you finally return back to your post, you're so empty-handed and disappointed that you missed pieces of your wound. Wait, let's bring that back. Then when you finally return back to your post, not only are you empty-handed and disappointed that the missing pieces of your wounds did not reach a resolution in the gutter of your memories, but you also will have to start all over. This is what happens when you lose momentum. Because of the terrorist feast that claimed your throne while you were in La La Land crying a river. This is trauma bonding. Stop getting online talking about niggas ain't shit, niggas don't got cribs, and vice versa. Women ain't shit, and y'all got to do this when there's plenty of women that are doing exactly what you say you want from a woman. Why are you not talking about that? Or there's plenty of men who are doing what you want from a man, who own businesses, have their own house, have life insurance put in place. If they are fathers already, take care of their children, right? Own stuff, have passive income coming in, are looking to be married and not just have sex, are faithful, don't lie. But all you talk about is niggas, all niggas do is lie. At some point, you have to hold yourself accountable and say, I only attract niggas that lie. And men that don't have their own crib. And vice versa for the men. At some point, you have to hold yourself accountable and just say, I'm terrible at aligning with men who have something to offer. Right? Then when you finally return back to your post, okay, it says, oh, you also have to start all over. This time around, though, after you build up your integrity of space, economy, and high-value life partners and healing of dark days, I have an idea. Stop answering the call of pain. Somebody says or does something racially insensitive. Fuck them. Stay on your post. Somebody starts talking shit about men or women online. Mind your business. Stay on your post. Someone says something that triggers every dark memory in your being and summons you to your trauma bond party. Stay on your motherfucking post. Stay on your motherfucking post, nigga. Stop minding people's business. Stop letting people post some shit and it trigger you. A brother said today, I made my list of my favorite artists, and he left a paragraph on why Tupac was not the best. Guess what I said? I respect your perspective, God. Then he inboxed me to explain more why, and I blocked him. Because you're looking for me to go back and forth, bro, but I'm not that dude, right? Oh, Pac, I ain't never heard a verse from Pac that made me say, oh my God, and all of this. He left a long paragraph. And I said, peace, God. I respect your perspective. And that shit fucked him up more because he thought I was gonna defend Pac. I already said how I feel about Pac. I'm not gonna go back and forth with you on social media, right? So that's what a lot of people expect from you. When they go in your comments and say weird shit, it's like a female or a male, right? Yeah, he tried to bring me down to his frequency of arguing, but I do not argue. That's one thing I don't do. I'm quick to say, okay. And I learned that a lot of people that trauma bond or that's not healed or did the shadow work, I do not argue. Like, that's one thing I don't do. If I start yelling and screaming, somebody getting shot, smacked, punched, because I basically I'm to the point where it's like, okay, you think shit a game, right? So I don't get, I haven't been there in a long time because I don't argue. I don't do that. People argue. I don't argue. If I argue with you and you're close enough to me, if I gotta yell, then I'm yelling as I'm smacking you, right? Or as I'm backing out on you, then that's different. But I'm the type of person I'm the okay type. Like, yeah, motherfucker, I'm telling you right now. And I'm like, call me back when you're done yelling. Then they call back, motherfucker, because I said, still yelling. Now I only give you like two times. After that, I'll block you forever too. Right? I'm gonna block you because now you're trying to really reel me in. I already told you the first time, call me back when you want to talk and communicate like humans. I'm gonna tell you just like that with that tone. And you'll understand the seriousness in my voice because while you're yelling, I'm tremendously calm. And that's going to be enough for you right there to be like, damn, maybe I'm overdoing it. I'm going to make you feel like you're overdoing it because that's just me. I don't argue. Again, I think Isaiah was on the phone one time when I was in AutoZone and the dude behind the counter, I said, man, listen, I'll smack the fuck out of you, man, over that counter. Who the fuck is you talking to? For one. And if you keep talking, I'll be right here when you clock out. And he shut the fuck up, right? Because he was being disrespectful because he was Spanish and there were some people in line behind me and I had questions because I'm not a car guy. So he just was like, trying to get, so let me, I'm like, who the fuck is you talking to, man? First, I was kind of like, oh, now, I don't really know much about cars. And he like, I'm like, okay, man. So what's up then, man? What if I just smack the fuck out of you over this counter then? What about that? He's like, huh? I said, what if I slapped him? I said, matter of fact, I'm going to be right here when you get out of work, bro. Because you doing a lot of this shit. And I don't do that. He's like, oh, nah, it ain't to that, bro. Like, nah, I'm like, nah, what time you get out? Right? So I don't argue. So that's one thing I don't do because I don't trauma bond. And that shit gives me a headache, migraine. It's a lot that comes with it. I don't know how people do it every day. How you yell and scream you're supposed to be in a loving partnership. You yelling and screaming every day to the person you're supposed to love. That shit is weird to me. And if people allow that, it's because they haven't did no shadow work. They're used to trauma bonding. They don't love themselves enough to protect their spirit so they can take being called a bitch or a bitch ass nigga or a faggot or you faggot ass motherfucker, like you stupid ass bitch. I'll punch you in your fucking face. Say another motherfucking word. And y'all just going back and forth and every day. Like, come on. Why is you even in that relationship? That's how I know people this is how you know when people are having this shadow work and are not healed to a certain level or they're on a certain frequency because they allow these things to happen to them. Everything that happens to you, you allowed it and you attracted it and you manifested it into your reality. Once you take full responsibility for your life, where you're at, the people that you're around, the mate that you have, then you'll change. As long as you keep blaming other people, you're trauma bonding. Anyway, stay on your post. It's not about ignoring the truth. It's about elevating the value of and people in your space and securing the throne and then offing the head of your enemies in the natural world. Shouts out to Lee Royal with the I love interaction. So shouts out to Lee Royal. If you're not in We Trade Sports, I want to do something big for you. It's already half off this month. So it's $50 to be a part of We Trade Sports. I'm going to knock another half off for you, make it $25. Get in because the NFL start in a couple weeks. And, that's what I do. I like transactional energy. You're giving me a lot of energy right now. You're responding to the things I'm saying in the comments. The stuff that you're saying is showing and proving that you know what I'm saying is right and exact based on your perspective, because the only thing really actual and factual is mathematics. But yes, let's get it. Like she said, codependency and definitely coexist with trauma bonding. A lot of the things that you're going through is because you involved in the situation. It takes two people to argue. This is why I hit people with, okay, you done? No, I'm not, motherfucker. Click. Call back. Because block now. Because I love myself. And now you gotta, by the time you see me in nature, like my boy said, I don't already offed your head. There's really nothing to converse about. Oh, I just want to apologize. Apology accepted. So when can we hang out? Never. You need to do that shadow work. I don't argue. Well, I'm sorry. See, yeah. Practice on the next person, because our time has, seasons come, seasons go. That's how I live my life, right? Anyway, picking at wounds of your pain body and masturbating to dark memories at the whistle of complete strangers or toxic healers who seduced you by trigger baiting you and attempting to pimp you for your pain and trauma bonding with a bunch of losers is what I see every day on social media. It's sad, it's pathetic, it's ineffective, and it's worse than a motherfucker on the corner asking for change. My boy Eli be on fire. Do you hear me? If you don't have no business online, but you up there all day, it's worse than panhandling for change, because at least they getting some money. And if you don't have a business to start, invest in something that's passive, like We Trade Sports, where I do all the fucking calling the signals for you, and all you have to do is copy. Because a lot of y'all just up here doing nothing. You just up here trauma bonding. Listening, watching people fight, listen to people argue, listen to people that's not in relationships telling you how to be married and what's a proper marriage and what's a proper alignment and what's a proper sacred union. And when you ask them for proof, they don't have nothing but tell you about the ex that they had and how they cut that person off because they wasn't serving them right. So you still ain't aligned with. This is why I'm not a relationship guru. You don't see me telling you how to go about being married, how to secure, my thing is what? Finances and spirituality, because that's where I'm at in my life. Once I'm married and it's like a sacred, then I'll explain a little bit on how we did this or how we're doing this. And you'll know because people ask you for advice. But a lot of people are getting you, or they're tapping into your pain body. They're talking about, this is why even with tarot readers, a lot of times, I notice people who do tarot cards, right? They tap into your pain body. And everything sounds like, oh yeah, that is real. I did have somebody in my family that I lost recently. They'll say, well, somebody in your family passed away recently. And if it wasn't somebody in your family, it's somebody close to you. Well, God damn it, I think everybody experienced death in their life, because it's something that's definitely going to happen. So if it wasn't your mom, your father, or your cousin, or your uncle, it's your mom's best friend. Oh yeah, somebody did pass. 2 months ago. My Uncle Jimbo passed. Yeah, man, your Uncle Jimbo. I'm getting a divine revelation from your Uncle Jimbo right now, man. He's saying stop doing whatever it is you're doing that's causing you pain. Person like, oh shit, I know what Uncle Jimbo is talking about because I know exactly what he's saying when he say that, right? They're tapping into your pain body because guess what? Most people are going through trauma and are used to trauma bonding, and they don't do the shadow work. So everything that the person that's flipping the tarot is saying relates to not only you, but the 85ers, period. Okay? And if a person doing a divination for you and all they got is bad news, then you don't need to be, pay attention. They trauma bonding. I don't get divinations and readings from people that don't have the shit that I want in life anyway. Okay? A lot of y'all be getting readings from people that you have more abundance than. You have more money, you have more love life, you have more family that love you, you have more friends, you take more vacations than this person, you have, more passive streams of income than this person, you got more money in your bank account than this person, your car is better than this person, your yard is bigger than this person, and you're getting a reading from this person. Of course they're gonna have bad news to tell you. They can't even get out of their own way. If the fucking tarot shit works so much, then why it's not working for you? Okay? If the numerology shit works so much, why the fuck it's not working for you? If the astrology is working so much and you're a master astrologer, then why the fuck isn't it working for you? If you can peer into the stars and know what's coming, why can't you? What's up with you? Because you're doing all the readings for everybody else and you can tell them what they need to be doing, but what about you? Right? There was a time, I'm a numerologist and a cosmologist, right? But I stopped doing readings for about 2 years because I was living in my car. Not for a whole 2 years. But what I'm saying is, why would I do a reading for you if I'm trying to figure out what's going on with me? A lot of people y'all be getting readings from sleeping on somebody's couch. Like I said, your life is more put together than theirs. But you just don't have your own way of thinking and you haven't done the shadow work. So they're going to give you something. They're going to give you homework based around bad news. So let me read that last chapter again. Those type of people pick at the wounds of your pain body. They have you masturbating to dark memories at the whistle of complete strangers. Like I said, these people are complete strangers and they're toxic healers because they don't have the things that they're telling you that you need, who seduce you with trigger baiting information, and then they pimp you for your pain. They get you to send them their money. You send them your money because you're trauma bonding with a bunch of losers on social media. When you do that, it's worse than panhandling. Because at least panhandlers are receiving money and you're giving your money away to people who are tapping into your pain body. That's why a lot of life coaches and shit like that, they fuck with me, but then they don't fuck with me. Okay? They fuck with me, but then they like, damn, this nigga too real. As long as, they'll fuck with me until I get to certain parts. And then they're like, fuck, that's me. I'm the one that's fucking sleeping on somebody's couch. I'm the one that's doing all these readings and I don't got shit. I'm doing readings for people who got more than me. They got a better car than me. They got a better house than me. They got a better love life than me. Their kids are doing bigger things than mine. And this is who you're fucking getting your readings from. And it's not just about readings, because as you're reading on social media, you're still trauma bonding with these people. So the goddess said, read this again. So it says, when you align with these type of people, they pick at the wounds of your pain body. Some people are masters at this. Even especially outside of social media, some people are so good at this shit that this is you stay in relationships with these people for so long because they know how to tap into your pain body so they can get you to get off post, but help you get back on post. So even though they're the ones who triggered you, they're the ones that pretty much helped you heal within the same conversation. Call you a fat bitch, y'all argue and you a fat bitch. But, when everything is going good, they'll post something on social media. I love my girl. She's so beautiful. As soon as y'all get offline and y'all argue, babe, turn the Xbox off. Let's watch a movie. You've been playing Call of Duty off. Fuck, I do what I want, you fat bitch. Da, 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 da. And, make you feel, earlier today on social media, they made you feel like a goddess. Later on tonight, they make you feel horrible about yourself. Tapping into your pain body. Now you up and you down. Emotionally, you happy, you sad. You up and down, you down. Because these people will pick at your pain body, make you masturbate to your darkest memories. When he's saying masturbate, he's not talking about physically. He's talking about mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. You keep fucking jerking off to the same. Think about it. When you masturbate, you know why you come so fast? When you masturbate, you know why you come so fast? Because you know just how you like it. That's why you come so fast when you masturbate. But then you can have sex with somebody, y'all can have sex for 30 minutes, and you like looking at the ceiling like, damn. Or, in 10 minutes they came and nothing really happened for you. You ain't even feel good yet. Sometimes you don't gotta have an orgasm to really feel good, right? But you like, damn, not only didn't I have an orgasm, that shit ain't even feel good. Like the whole time I'm looking at the ceiling, like, I don't know. So think about masturbating to your darkest memories, right? You could go there so fast because you know the trauma that you've been through. So you could go there so fast. This is why you're ready to send them money. Oh, tonight I'm doing tarot readings. $10 for tarot. You like, oh shit, let me get hey sis, check your cash app. I just sent you $10. And look, this person just used your 10 to put gas in their car. You better start getting readings from people with a full tank already. Right? Even with me, right? I'm a numerologist. But if I just popped out and said I'm doing numerology readings, I expect a lot of people to want a reading, nigga. Because why? I make $200,000 a year from home. That's why. I'll throw all this shit on right here and be like, look. I'm going to tell you the real shit anyway. My point, this is not to toot my own horn, but goddamn it, I look like I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I look like I done manifested some shit to where if I tell you some shit, you can listen to it, not just because, because people could just throw a bunch of fake jewelry on and do that and get you too, because they're charlatans. They're good at that. So this is where discernment comes in. But my point is just that make sure the motherfucker look like the shit that they telling you, man. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. Shit ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm just saying, make sure that the person is living the lifestyle that you want to live before you start sending them money. But since the goddess said bring it back, masturbating to your darkest memories at the whistle of complete strangers or toxic healers who seduce you with trigger baiting attempts to pimp you of your pain, your trauma bonding with a bunch of losers on social media. That lifestyle is pathetic, ineffective, and worse. There's somebody who's asking for change. Because again, at least they're receiving when they ask for change. You're giving your money away, or you're giving your mental energy away when you scroll all fucking day and you just on Shade Room reading that shit all day. And then you jump over here to Facebook and you looking at a fight over here, and then you go over here and like, I seen a bunch of cornballs this week or just the last 48 hours, people who's supposed to be community leaders, encouraging that this dude tried to punch this girl in the face, and supposedly she attacked him with brass knuckles. And people who's supposed to be motherfucking coaches and doing all this positive high vibrational shit in the community, they were really excited about that this dude tried to knock this chick out. They were sharing the video and all of this. But they doing give backs, programs, free to women in jail. So it's like a lot of people do this type of stuff because it's a way to be famous and popular. It's a way to be, a lot of people do shit for, again, remember, when we spoke about the momentum thing, and I told you about the shadow work that I had to do, and then I told you about when they asked me, "Hey, what are you what's your life goal?" My boy calls it the 7 questions. And then after you answer what's your life goal, they ask you, and if that doesn't happen, then what? What you will realize is by the time you get to the 7th time of saying that, you're so far away from your life goal because everything that you're doing is for other people, your kids included. A lot of people don't manifest their destiny or live their dream because they say, my kids come first. Your kids do not come first. Your fucking kids come second after you. While you're doing your destiny, that while you're manifesting your destiny, you're going to give them the best life possible because here's why: you're happy and listen, you're doing God's work. A lot of people won't move out of that city because they're like, oh, my kids go to a good school. Like as if there's not no good schools in Charlotte. As if there's not no good schools in Houston. I'm talking about, and I'm naming these places because these is a lot of people are like, we gravitate to some of the same places where we feel like success is abundant. And then, again, it's about Afro tribalism. And, I believe in, to really be as big as you really want to be, you might want to be in a metropolitan city, even if it's in the outskirts, off the grid, in the woods, because a lot of people like to be off the grid, right? And they like to live in solitude or in the woods or have an acre and you got to drive up the dirt road to get to my house. That's all cool, right? But you still got to come outside. And when you come outside, you need to be around abundance. You need to be around visual stimulation, shit that's going to make you want to do better, right? Because in my hood, if somebody pulled up in a Lamborghini truck, right, the first thing niggas is going to do is throw the cops on them, meaning they're going to say, oh, whoever that is, getting a lot of money and the feds coming. Now, if you was in Charlotte, that shit normal. If you in Greenville, South Carolina, that shit ain't about nothing. If you in Miami, it ain't about shit. If you in Houston, that shit ain't about nothing. You in LA, that shit ain't about nothing. Ain't nobody talking about no cops because it's normal. So we need to be in, for people that's vibrating high, we need to be in places where high vibrations is normal. Yeah, people. So what? Listen, I just told you about the initiation, right? That I went through. Now, this exercise requires that you sit right across from a complete stranger, and you guys are knee to knee. Your knee is touching their knee, and then your hand is like not on their lap in the groin area, but your hand is on their lap. Their hand is on your lap. You have to look this person directly in the eye, right? You have to look this person directly in the eye, and this person has to look you directly in the eye. And then what you're saying what they say is, they say, now I want you to steer to the depths of the soul of this individual. And what you have to do is you want to see the things that y'all have in common as you're looking and staring into this person's soul. And you want to look at the differences of this person. And as you take this person in, right, for a minute, and what you realize is most people can't stare each other in the eyes for a minute. You start looking around and all of that because people don't like being read, right? Because a lot of people have deep, dark secrets. And they know if you can look into my eyes for a long enough time, then it makes me uncomfortable because I feel like you know my darkest secrets, right? But anyway, you have to tell the person. So it's on one person to go first. And the exercise goes both ways. So my boy calls it the 7 questions. The way we did it was 1 minute, and the answer has to be automatic and instantly, meaning you can't think about the answer. It's subconscious. And what it shows you is that 95, nobody, until you have done the shadow work, you're living for other people. And here's the proof. They say, hey, Travis, what's your life goal? What's your destiny? I said, to make $100,000 a month, automate my business, and disappear. I tell y'all that every day. Then the question goes, and if you don't make $100,000 a month, automate your business and disappear, then what? And you like, You got to answer it instantly. I said, if I don't do that, then I'll feel like a failure. If you feel like a failure, then what? If I feel like a failure, I let my kids down. Here we go. I'm already done went through my destiny. I made it about my kids now. See, I didn't even realize in the moment that this is what I was doing until we had to stop at the minute, meditate, eyes closed. They play this high vibrational music, NDRE, Sade, Erica Badu, shit like that. That's going to really get you in that zone. Then you have to really meditate in real time, breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, right? And then you just start realizing all the shit that you said that ain't have shit to do with your destiny, which was the very first thing that you're going to say is everything to do with you. After that, you start blaming everybody else. So what did I say next? After I said, if I don't, then I feel like a failure. And if you feel like a failure, then what? And if I feel like a failure, then I feel like I let my sons down. If you let your sons down, then what? If I let my sons down, what'll probably happen is they'll be in the streets, either going to jail or probably get murdered. And if your sons go to jail and get murdered, then what? If my sons go to jail and get murdered, and then then I start panicking. Then I start crying, right? Because it's intense because the person's on top of you. You can't think. So as soon as you start stuttering, they're like, and then what? And you like, well, and then what? If your sons go to jail and get murdered, then what? And it's like, then somebody else will walk up on you and they like, if your sons go to jail and get murdered, then what? And it's like you got 2 or 3 people in your face. So now you just start saying shit. Well, if my sons go to jail and get murdered, then I'll feel like a failure as a dad. You already said you felt like a failure as a dad before you even got, and then what? And it's like, by the time you're done, you realized that you not living for you. You started talking about your fucking sons, man. When the truth was, you're supposed to stick to the script. It was a shadow work exercise that shows you that every human being that hasn't done the shadow work will do anything to run away from their destiny and blame it on somebody else. And what 90% of parents do is blame their failures in life on their children. And then it makes them resent their very own kids, even though they don't know. Now you start calling your little son stupid. You little dumb motherfucker. Oh, bitch, you gonna get the fuck out of my house. And this is when shit like this start happening. Mom, your man touched my butt kind of funny today. As I was walking by, he came out the bathroom in his towel, and then like we was walking through there, and he kind of like rubbed up on me like that, and I feel like he shouldn't have did that. And she like, bitch, you trying to fuck my man? She don't even believe you. Why? Because she envies you. Because she never moved to Houston like she wanted to. She feel like you're the reason she didn't get she couldn't meet a man, because as soon as she said I got kids at home, that nigga was like, well, shit, I'm off it. Not knowing that it was our fault. We didn't secure the throne. So I've realized that everything after my first answer was some fucking bullshit. Everything after my first answer was some fucking bullshit that I tried to blame on me not wanting my kids to go to jail. And the whole time, my sons is in college and live on campus right now. Both of them. And I got a daughter too. But it was the quickest thing I could think of was my sons, because they're older. And then I started thinking about the streets. And I'm telling somebody else's story. My son's a fucking in college living on campus. So whose story am I telling? I just made some shit up real fast, is what I realized in my brain. I just made a whole scenario up that wasn't even my life. So this is what we all do. This is what we all do. We all do this. Every person that hasn't, And I'm not talking about shadow work that you think you did on your own, because again, I've been a spiritual guy since 95. I've did intense shadow work, but I'm talking about practical practices through rites of passage that people have been doing for 30 and 40 years that they make you do. It's like in fucking Africa, right? In certain tribes, I remember I was reading about this tribe, right? They make you take it's like some type of like mushroom, right? This mushroom enhances your capabilities. You run faster. You can see in the dark. And what they do is they send you out there to hunt a lion. You have to come back with the tail of the lion. If you fail, it's because you. If you don't come back with the tail, it's because you died. It's because you went out in the field and you died, so you didn't pass. The way you failed the test is you died out there, man. If you come back with the tail of the lion, then you passed. Okay? So when we talk about the shadow work that we doing, that shit is not about nothing, because to do that is how you become a warrior in that tribe. It's the only way you get a wife. Or you stay or you die. You either die or you move on and you're able to marry one of the wives of one of the men who actually passed the test. So what they're doing is ensuring that strong genes is passed on, and they hit you with, like I said, they make you take this stuff that gives you super strength, superpowers, makes you super fast. You can see, it makes, shit where you can see in the dark, right? And obviously the shit is real. Now, see, to somebody like us, we're like, that can't be real. But obviously, if they've been doing it for hundreds of years, motherfucker, then it's real. So my point is, I know a lot of us feel like, oh, I did shadow work. I do shadow work. I'm a spiritual guy. I'm this and I did that already. And a lot of times we're self-initiated in these things. So we had nobody to say, man, listen here, man. You don't know shit about nothing. You don't know shit, really. You just a self-initiate. This is why in shit like E5, you cannot be self-initiated. Somebody got to bring you in. You cannot be self-initiated because it comes with a rites of passage. When you're a Jew and then you have what's called a bar mitzvah, as soon as you hit 13 or puberty, right, a certain age, 13, then what they do? Then all the men throw you a party, and each one of them give you $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000. So imagine 30 men giving you $1,000 on your 13th birthday. It automatically puts you in a place or a position of power, and then they also give you real estate. So at 13, you become a landlord, and you got cash. Now you can leverage this cash and get you what's considered I'm trying to think of the type of credit that the credit card where you put your own money up. My point is that they put you in such a position of power that at 13, you're doing shit that black men or men from the inner city haven't never experienced in their whole life. A lot of them niggas never had 30,000, and a lot of them never had real estate, a secure credit card. Thank you, because I got one. Okay? So for them, it's a rites of passage. Soon as you hit 13, you don't have to learn this shit. You're going to experience it, nigga. Because right now, it's on your birthday, you're going to have 40, 50, 60, 70,000 because the 60 men in this community of ours gave you $1,000. And then your dad got to top it off with at least 10 racks. Because if every man going to give you 1,000, your dad got a 10x it. So on your 13th birthday, you got 87, 30, $92,000 in your bank account and some real estate, man. And here we are, 30, 40-year-old black men with not even 2,000 in our account with no fucking real estate. Talking about we gods and earths of the planet. Well, the motherfucking proof says that 13-year-old is way more powerful than you as a grown man. So we cannot discredit rites of passage and self-initiation, because that's the only way we get secure credit cards and real estate now, especially as black men, is through the fucking internet. We learn from Instagram, a couple Instagram videos, Facebook. Get a little bit of information here and there. Piece it together. Try some shit. Oh, yeah, that worked. Oh, okay. I know how to do that. Oh, that ain't work. That was some bullshit. Right? But my point is, we got to fail over and over and over again before we get it right. That's because we didn't have a rites of passage. So we got to bring back these ancient ways. Initiations, rites of passage. It's important. Everything that I learned, I taught myself. I taught myself. It's not a good thing. It's not a good feeling to have to teach myself. I just got my first secure credit card. I'm 43 years old. It's called rolling out the red carpet. That's what my mentor taught me. Talk about yourself, not other people. That's why I always talk about me sleeping in the car. That's why I can confidently tell you I got my first secure credit card at 43 years old. Because we wasn't taught these things. It's not mandatory in our culture. Shouts out to people like me. Shouts out to people like my roommate. He got a whole program to teach them. They did some shit with the babies where they created these babies have a fucking EIN number. For later on, when they understand it, they already got an EIN. That's a rites of passage. So without people like us and you guys who are on the joint, because I know it's getting late, but you're still up here, it's on us. And you cannot put your kids first, because then you won't have the necessary tools to create the rites of passage, because you put so much into your fucking kids. You put so much into your parents. Some of y'all are living for your parents. There was one girl at the program who broke down because, and we're going to continue, we're going to move on to the book, but she broke down because they made her, when she sat in the front of the room, and the person said, hey, what's the one thing you want to do at this point in your life to get you to the next level? She said, I need to go through all my mail. So he said, and if you don't go through all your mail, then what? If I don't go through all my mail, then I'll continue to accumulate debt and continue to have bad credit because I get so many bills from different things that I should be paying, and I miss a lot of stuff because I just let my mail pile up, and then I'll go through it later. And they said, well, if you don't go through your mail and it piles up, then what? If I don't go through my mail and it piles up, then what? Then I will accumulate more debt and my credit will get worse. If you accumulate bad debt and your credit gets worse, then what? If I accumulate bad debt and my credit gets worse, then I'll be a failure. If you become a failure, then what? Then my parents will be upset. And if your parents become upset, then what? If my parents become upset, I feel like my life wasn't worth living. If your life is not this, she just started breaking down and crying. So her main reason for wanting to go through her mail was not to disappoint her parents. It really had nothing to do with her. It had something to do with her, but she didn't understand. Once she realized what she was saying, and then he stopped it. He said, stop. You see where she went wrong? You see where the shadow work is helping her? Because she was the first person to do it in front of everybody. He says she's living for her parents. That's probably why she don't like going through the mail already. She just start going crying like crazy. And, my point is every time it got further and further, every time they asked the person, even myself, it got further and further away from our destiny. So I don't give a fuck what it is that we're doing. We should be doing it for us and not other people. All right. So next, my boy says, then off the head of your opposition from a position of strength and power. So he says, stay on your post. Never jump off your post to align with what other people are doing, because then you're minding their business. If you stay on your post and you secure the throne, then you'll be able to off the head of your opposition from a position of strength and power. A lot of us are in relationships we don't want to be in because we haven't secured the throne. So that relationship is so comfortable because somebody's going half on the bills with us. We don't know what life, we don't want to take with that responsibility in our mind is too much. It's already a struggle. So I'm going to stay in this relationship and let this nigga smack the fuck out of me then. Just because he paid the majority of the bills or he pays half the bills. I'm going to just cheat on the side. Vice versa. Him, I don't want to leave because I'm comfortable. I'm going to just cheat. Then he get caught. Then he get kicked out anyway. Now he's doing things he don't want to do, like selling drugs. Now he gets knocked. Now he violates probation. See how it's just like a snowball? Now he violates. He had 5 years hanging. They gave him 3. Now he's upset. He goes in there and beats the shit out of somebody. They give him the whole 5. Parole comes. They deny him because he had a fight in jail. All of this because it started from home, though. And it just snowballed and trickled down to a fucking 5-year bid to where a nigga can't even come home early for good behavior. Anyway, yeah, the secure credit card. We've been, I don't know if I froze or something, but we've been past the secure credit card. Yeah, we've been past that. Is it EIN kind of like a Roth IRA? I don't even know what a Roth. I'm actually getting more into estates and trusts now. I keep seeing this word Roth IRA. So I don't know about the EIN is a social pretty much for your business. All right. So it's an identification number. So this is how you know you are a business. You have a social security because you are a business who's operating under the Queen of England or whoever runs England at this point, right? So the way that she's able to keep tabs on you is through your social security number because you yourself are a business that she owns, if you didn't know. If you have a social security number and you haven't did the work to become sovereign, and there's a lot of things, out there now. You got trust where you can still operate under being a business, but still get tax breaks and don't have to pay. You got people like Nefertari. That's what I'm saying. This is why you got to create an alpha tribe because I don't know everything, right? I'm a master at a lot of stuff, but I'm also a student at a lot of things. And the next year, 2024 for me is for about trusts and estates. Yes, I know about them. Yes, I understand them. But do I understand? No. Do I overstand? No. Am I a master at it? No. Because if I was, I wouldn't have a social, or I would already have a trust, right? Shout out to people like Nipsey Hussle, who was ahead of the game. Because when he died, his shit was in the trust. His kids would be rich forever. The government cannot take their money and attack their money and all of this shit, right? So this is stuff like people like if Tupac would have known, like Tupac pretty much died broke. His estate is worth mad bread now, but he didn't get to experience that. His mother didn't even really get to experience it either, because from what I understand, the people who owned the trust, it kind of like skipped over the mother, and some fucking Europeans that had nothing to do with his legacy owned his estate. So these type of talks are important. So the fact that you even asked, is it like a Roth or IRA? I don't understand what a Roth or IRA is, but I do know that an EIN is an identification number for a business. So it's the social of the business. Anyway, it says anything less, and they are subjected to your brutal, unrelenting demonization or crucifixion. So anything less than securing the throne will be brutal. Anything less than focusing. Shouts out to Tanisha Johnson because she knows a little something, right? About something. With her, she's responding to the IRA thing, and she said no, it's not. Okay. So anything outside of not securing the throne, so anything that doesn't have to do with your destiny. So here's the thing. When I think of destiny, I think of a couple words. I think of love is law. I think of family is business. I think of contractual and transactional. That's securing the throne. Everything, love is law. Everything you're doing should be based around some type of business transaction outside of your family. And then in your family, you should be securing the throne where you're operating businesses and hiring them so that when you do pass away, the legacy continues. Everything else is some bullshit. Everything else is some bullshit. It's not securing the throne. Everything else is based on low vibrational frequencies. Majority of people chasing sex, really. And then temporary highs. Weed, alcohol. Even information. Some people read all day. Execute nothing. Some people watch videos all day on how to be a better person. Self-development videos. Napoleon Hill. Grant Cardone. Gary Vee. All day long. And manifest nothing. So information can also, too much of anything is not beneficial. Too much of anything is not beneficial. Right? That's why I heard Grant Cardone say, stop reading books and write books. Because to write a book stems from experience. So that means you've been doing the work. This is the only way you can write a book, is if you've been doing the work. You can read 1,000,000 books and fucking have nothing for yourself. But to write a book, you're really writing from experience. So we have to transmute, go from reading a lot of books to start writing a lot of books. Go from watching a lot of videos to start making a lot of videos. He said, all people are capable of manipulating narratives to satisfy the ego and justify deficiencies. This is why all people need a mirror from time to time. Instead of saying them, say me. You took one sociology and gender studies class in college, and ever since you've developed a false god complex. You took one course on psychology, and all of a sudden you know everything about everybody. You still haven't secured the throne. You honestly think that you honestly think you in your break room, stale coffee, drinking goons are the only conscious beings on the planet that can think objectively and independently about a subject. while everyone else is simply mimicking their socialization like mindless drones who need your fake ass divine guidance to think and behave properly because in your mind, you know better than everybody. So that was a complex that, let me read that paragraph again because that was me. I knew a lot of stuff. I've been reading a chapter a day since 1995. But I didn't realize that knowledge and, to be smart and to be intellectual are two separate things. Until my boy told me one day, bro, you need to put the books down and do the stuff that you're telling people. And this is like my best friend. He like, bro, you know more than everybody I know. How am I worth millions of dollars and you live in your car? And I had to really think, like, damn, you're right. Because for years he would say that. He's like, you the smartest dumb nigga I know. I'd be like, what the fuck you mean by that? He'd be like, bro, you know everything about everything. You teach everybody the shit and then they use it and leave you behind. And for a while, I kept deflecting. Like, nah, bro, my time is my time. And no, and this and that. But then after a while, I would hear the God in me say, Dirt is right. Your boy is right. Then I'm like, you know what? Maybe he is right. Maybe I'm not as smart or as wise as I think I am. Right? And that was me. You honestly, what he says, your fake ass divine guidance to think, because you think you know more than other people. Well, some people you might do know more, but some people could do more with less. If a man makes an opinion outside of the thought construct of how you think, then this person is toxic. That's a harmful way to think. So if a person don't think how we think, a lot of times we feel like this person is toxic. That's the first word we use is, oh yeah, that person is out of alignment. That person is toxic because the person don't think how you think. And a lot of times the people who think like that don't have nothing manifested. So yeah, you're knowledgeable and you're intellectual, but you're really not that wise. Like I just made my breakthrough of being really like what I consider a wise man. Like I'm very wise now because I know the little stuff that I do know, I use it. I'm not even talking about an extreme or harmful. It could be something as simple of how a person governs their protocol, how they interact with their family, their relationships, how they maximize order, safety, and advancement. If a woman concludes something differently about the world, her desires, her choices, and her ideas outside of ideology of your shake and bake scholarly research, she suffers from patriarchal, sick, disturbed, unhealthy, codependent, unstudied stupidness. If a woman is highly intelligent, educated, well-read, competent, healthy, and can make up her own mind about what she wants for herself, then a weak man will dismiss her totally of her lived experience and life preferences because they're not 100% in sync with their state-sponsored shake and bake social ideology. So a lot of times, what he's saying here is that, a lot of people like to bond and be with wounded people that they could feel like they could teach. If they get around somebody that can teach them some shit or know just as much as them or have manifested more than them, especially men, right? He says that we would consider them out of sync. He says people be out here classifying a person's entire humanity as toxic over the most minor differences in style, approach, conclusion, and personalities. This is why nobody goes to your conferences or buys your unpublished books. This is why outside of your social circle of pseudo economics, goons and their trauma bond squad of America, you really have no relevance in the world of power players. This is why your entire career is hiding out in the break room of somebody else's LLC, of some institution snorting stale coffee beans down your nostrils to have a meeting about a meeting to a meeting of a meeting about a bunch of bullshit. This is why you lack the anointing to activate the soul of any man or woman that you come in contact with, which makes you the highest version of you, the lowest version of them. This is why nobody never chooses you. So he's talking to us, the people. This is us. We have to accept this. We haven't been chosen by that divine being. A lot of us are looking for love, looking for these people, looking for this tribe. And the reason they haven't manifested, hold on. Stay over there. The reason that they haven't manifested is because we have more work to do on ourselves, right? This is why you wear a massive God complex during the day, but at night you have to go to bed and look at the ceiling with nothing manifested. Your God complex is nothing more than endorphins running wild in your brain from being over medicated with self-sabotage. And as much as you don't want to admit it, you are not sovereign. You cannot free other people until you have freed yourself. You don't understand that you work for the machine. He says, sis, if the man you're calling misogynistic based on minor differences, non-harmful behaviors or expressions treats the woman in his tribe better than any of the men you have dated or sexed, or the men in your biological or social tribe have treated you, you need to reevaluate your entire belief system. It's killing you. It's corroding you. It's stuffing you. It's muffing you. Aren't you tired of being surrounded by timid men who fear their own masculine erection because your big mama energy doesn't like the men who roar too loud? Wow. So what he's saying here is, this goes back to what I was saying. The reason a lot of us, well, he's saying sis, he says sis. So he's talking to the women here. The reason that you attract no good men is because you're scared of alpha males. You want your big mama energy to roar loud amongst weak men. So this is who you choose. You don't want a man that tells you exactly, how he feels, who has a lot of money, who owns a lot of things, who's going to make you elevate your game, who's going to make you fix your credit, who's going to tell you to stop paying rent and let's start paying mortgage. Y'all run from that. Now, all of y'all. Remember, let's get into the math. 85ers, 15%ers. Aren't you tired of being surrounded by men who destroy themselves and everything in their environment because they're incomplete and wounded? Then make the shift. When you call everything and everyone misogynistic and other trendy trigger words, you're essentially saying, fuck the pleasure of my personal economy. Fuck the awakening of any original thought in my being. Fuck any value-producing alliance with sovereign men who are privileged and honor sovereign women. I belong to the state. I belong to the trauma bonding circles. To allow the state to slut me out in such a fashion that I'm becoming sloppy and counterproductive. It does not serve my inner queen. Who are you really, and what's your agenda? Sis, And how can men and women serve the throne based on your personalized truths? No, no, no. Let's stop looking and reading scripts on Facebook. In fact, burn it. Burn those books. Burn the copies. Burn the copy and paste talking points, presentations, and arguments. It's time to practice being authentically sovereign and original. Now speak for the first time from the throne of your heart and your highness. It goes back to that status that I read earlier. Do I need to go back and read it by KK, where she spoke of the men that she's attracting must be powerful, must be, have some type of prestige, must have a tremendous amount of money, because when she's out in the world, right, or tremendous amount of abundance and manifestations, because when she's out in the world, she wants to be honored by other people simply by who she's aligned with, even when he's not present. She's not trying to hear all that bullshit that y'all be talking when it comes to these niggas. Because like my boy said, I might got to bring that shit back. Let me bring that back. He says, sis, if the man that you're calling misogynistic based on minor differences in behaviors or expressions treats the woman in his tribe better than any of the men you have ever dated, let's just stop right there. Then you need to reevaluate your situation. So a lot of y'all get rid of good men who treat you better than any man that you've ever met ever in your life, and he may do one thing that you don't like, or have one, he may, let's just say the nigga don't wear Jordans. He wear Asics, Adidas Classics. Basically, his swag ain't what you want it to be, but he do everything else right. He owns shit. He has people working on his behalf, employees. He opens doors for you, right? He takes you to places you've never been. But you want the nigga from outside that rock the Jordans with the 80 gold chains on, who don't give a fuck about you, talk crazy to you, take you on dates, yes, but he's taking other people on dates as well. Turns his phone upside down so he'll never have you answer his phone. And these are the men y'all choose, and then say niggas ain't shit. So my boy is saying, stop doing that. Stop doing that. Because you can easily, if you don't like a nigga that because of his sneakers, then buy him some different, then you buy him some shoes. Then if that's the only thing that's wrong about the brother, then you buy it. Then be like, bang, let's go sneaker shopping. I'm going to get you some stuff that I like. But a lot of y'all get rid of good men because y'all swear there ain't none. But everyone that you came across, you got rid of. Or you call him a simp because he opens the door for you. And maybe other women as well. A lot of women don't like that. Why the fuck you hold the door for that bitch? Because, I'm a man of honor, and this is what we do. We hold doors for women, period. Elderly, younger, It says never debate a person who is powerless. That goes back to the dude earlier who was trying to debate me about Tupac. I said Tupac is my favorite artist of all time, and he left a fucking whole paragraph on why Tupac was not the best. And I said, okay, bro, well, your perspective is your perspective. Peace, God. And he went to my inbox to explain more why, and I blocked him. Because, bro, you don't have no power here. I already made my decision on who my favorite artist is. You're not going to change my mind about who I like the most, nigga. Respond to people who challenge your cause based on their level of influence. Every toxic and abusive person I've observed has two things in common. They're intoxicated with the victim complex, so they're always a victim, and there's always something happening to them and not for them. Number two, they are trapped in a pain body, which derives from a painful memory. Literally, they keep replaying bad scenes in their life over and over and over again. So this is people who always go back to those relationships that didn't work. Or that time they tried to invest and they lost a little bit of money. Just little small shit like that. But what he's saying is you keep replaying old shit that happened to you in the present, or people that get in new relationships and talk about their ex, whether how good they did something or how bad they did something. So here's the deal. Most of the time, abusers are legitimately victimized by an abuser back in the day. The back in the day person blinds them to the countless people they have abused or been toxic towards because they can't see, hear, or comprehend anything beyond the abuse they suffered from way back in 1950. People are so fixated on painful memories from the past that they can't see the monster they are towards innocent people in the present. This is why I teach against victim complexes. I had a friend today who reached out. All I said to her was, "How was your day today?" And she went into all this bad shit. Oh, I'm tired, and this is hurting. And then I gave her a solution. And she was like, "Yeah, but this hurts, and this," and then I just stopped responding. Because all you want to talk about is bad shit. Even when I told you something, gave you a solution, you went around the solution and told me why. Before you didn't even try it, you just went around it and told me why something else was going wrong. And I ain't never respond again. One thing I don't do is trauma bond. We're going to talk about a solution. And a lot of people, if you're solution based, what you'll realize, when you're solution based is a lot of times people will call you mean. They'll think because you don't want to listen to their trauma over and over that you're a mean individual and that you don't listen to them when they're trying to express themselves. Don't fall for that. Right? Have your boundaries, because that's what people who trauma bond do. They'll try to make you feel bad about protecting your energy just to reel you into more trauma. My boy Eli said, "I do not trauma bond. I believe in stomping roaches regardless of what happened." Now, this may be healing for some because it is a download of overstanding people and perspectives beyond your own, and not to repeat multiply toxic shit from a victim complex. Listen, my boy said, "I believe in stomping roaches regardless of what happened, nigga." You tired? Go to bed earlier. Your back hurt? Start doing core exercises. You're hungry? Then start packing lunch, nigga. You feel weak? Then work out. You're overweight? Then start running. Until you develop this type of mindset, you will never secure the throne, because people are going to keep pouring into you with toxicity, man. Once you start giving people solutions, as soon as they say something toxic about themselves, what you will realize is two things that happen. And I'm not reading from the book. I'm telling you from experience. Two things are going to happen. Either they're going to activate, or they're just going to stop coming to you with bad news because they like, this motherfucker don't ever coddle me. They're always telling me what I need to do, which is what you're supposed to be doing. Now, this may be healing for some. Okay, so basically what he's saying is this is going to heal you. A lot of people, you're not understanding. A lot of y'all and a lot of us, let me use the word us, because we are reflections of each other. A lot of us feel like we have bad luck because we just keep taking on other people's energy. We don't even realize it's not really us the whole time. It's other people's shit that we taking on. We always broke because we always let somebody borrow some shit. We ain't never got money for ourselves because we always let somebody borrow shit. And if you let a person borrow something once, they're going to keep asking you to borrow stuff. Every time they go through something, they're going to ask you for assistance because you gave it to them once. So, eventually you have to say, hey, and stop explaining so much. That helps you with being sovereign. Stop saying no. The reason why I can't let you borrow money, just say no. Ask somebody else. They're going to find some way to get it, make it happen. Somebody say, people know my financial position, right? Every day I get somebody trying to get a loan from me. I had to be comfortable with saying no without explaining why. In the beginning, I'm like, yeah, I can't because I got this going on. I got that going on. Plus, I got to do this. And now I just be like, no. And if you do borrow something from me, it's with interest. I'm just like my dad. I learned that from my dad. If I let you hold 1,000, I need 1,400 back, and you got 3 weeks to pay me back. It's that simple. Or don't use it, because I'm not going to let you hold $1,000 for you to give me back $1,000 a month from now. The fuck? Like, too many of us do that. We're pouring, like the guy that said earlier, pouring from an empty cup. Eli said, stop all the roaches around you. Then stop your inner roach. Wow. Don't come to me about protecting you from trifling ass men in your poorly managed tribe if you're going to protest and interfere with me when I behead them. A lot of women do that. They be with men, they call their brothers, come whip his ass. He whip his ass, tomorrow y'all in the fucking mall together. Now you put your brother's life in jeopardy because that man, that ass, whoever ass he whipped, he got friends. Now his friends envy the men who whipped their friend's ass, and they're possibly going to kill that nigga. It don't even got to be the dude that he whipped that's going to take him out. It's his boys. Like, when we see him, bro, we're going to kill that nigga. So like Eli said, stomp the roaches around you, then stomp your inner roach. Do not come to me to protect you from trifling ass men in your poorly managed tribe just to go protest and interfere when I behead them niggas. He said, a woman once said to me, I don't feel protected by men in my tribe. What should I do? This is what I told her. He said, number 1, are you aware that protection requires some degree of another person policing you? If so, what is your ideology on being policed? Number 2, if you do not feel protected by men in your tribe, then submit an application to join the tribes of men who are highly protective, effective, and respectful towards their women. You have the power. Stop saying, black men don't protect black women. That's your tribe that you're talking about. You are revealing your tribe. You have no protection because you're not worthy of being protected. That's why. Because you haven't put in the application, which is just really affirmation of what you want from men in your tribe. You just freestyling in life until some bad shit happens. Now you run into the men you going to run and tell, them niggas ain't even sovereign. They don't own nothing and they have no power. You gonna fuck around and get them niggas killed. But here's the kicker. When you submit your application to the women of the tribe, the mothers, the sisters, the wives of these highly protective men, they, the women, will approve you after performing a risk assessment on how much danger and value you add to their space. They will also examine your value system and mentality to determine if you may pose a threat to the foreseeable future. Which begs the question, do you attract friendships with high-value women, or do these type of women avoid you? If your friends are not high value, then you answered your question. I only say this because when I wanted more access to more highly valued women, even before totally platonic reasons, my greatest strength in gaining their trust was being vetted and approved by the highly valued men in their tribe. So what he's saying is when you get with high value people, men, when you date high value women, then guess what? The reason she's high value is because she has high value men already around her. Her dad, her brother, her family. These niggas already get money. They already own shit. So you aligning with a woman of high value is going to put you in immediate it's going to align you immediately with high value men. Also, women. Usually, when you meet a high value man, the reason he's that way is because his mother's prestigious, his aunts and shit. The women that he navigate around and move around, they're already high value. They expect that of him. So, from what my boy is saying, is you automatically put yourself in a position of high value or high powerful people by just being around them or being with someone, like being intentional about that shit. And I know sometimes we be like, oh, like, no, we're not dating potential. Potential is not powerful. There's power, but powerful is power manifested. It's like knowledge. There's knowledge in books, but to be wise, you have to actually live the experience. You could be the smartest nigga in the room and not be wise. You can not know nothing really and be wiser than everybody in the fucking room that read every book. Think about our grandfathers of those that only had like a third grade education, but had real estate, owned businesses, but had a fourth grade reading level. How is that? It goes back to this. They hired somebody who knew how to set an LLC up. They hired employees who knew how to do the work that they didn't know how to do. I remember in prison, my cellie couldn't read, and he was a fucking millionaire. I used to write his love letters to his girl, and he would pay me. Think about that. This nigga had cash, so much money, he was paying his wife, his girl's rent from jail. Here I am, done read all these books, and I'm calling home talking about, please send me $50 because my commissary low. So even though he couldn't read, he was wiser than a motherfucker. He knew how to make shit work around him. I wrote his letters. Hey, yo, bro, you want to eat a mofongo tonight? Matter of fact, yo, here go 2 honey buns and shit. You need a coffee ball, my nigga? I'm going to do this for you, man. Shit. And I'm going to have my girl click over and call your girl tonight and shit like that, man. Just write me a letter, man. Come on, man. And anybody that's been in prison know that's common. When you go to jail, you realize how many people can't read. That's just regular in jail. Because there's no way to hide in jail. You can't hide who you are in prison. So if you can't fucking read, nigga, you can't read. Because when your girl writes you a letter, you need somebody else to read it to you. Panhandling on the streets for protection from low-hanging fruit in your tribe is unbecoming. Nobody leaves the throne to rescue somebody who's not of the throne. It's too much of a risk. In closing, you don't have the right or the authority or the privilege to summon men of other women to handle your life conflicts. What does that mean? That means if you do have a brother and he has a wife and she's high value and you're a thought and you outside in the streets and all you do is fight and argue and drink in the club and you call your brother because some nigga threw a beer in your face, his wife is going to say, nigga, you better not get out this bed. You know your sister trash. And he got to make a decision. Do he step off the throne to shoot outside at 2 a.m? Then he get there, his sister drunk, her shoes off. She done threw her wig in the street. Her friends playing loud ratchet music, twerking in front of the car. His wife like, nigga, you better not go out there. Fuck that bitch. You got a family here, kids. I got to work in the morning. I don't even know why she calling you this late. That's what my boy is saying. And then you have to make a decision. And if you have a person of high value, a wife of high value, a divine feminine, and y'all own bad shit, it's a good chance. Sis, I'll see you in the morning. Take your ass home. I'm not coming out there. Trifling men who are a nuisance to society need to be beheaded as well. Because many people scream, protect me from these men in my tribe. But why would anyone want to protect an abuser if you attempted to behead them? Why? Because these same trifling men are their sons, brothers, sisters, fathers, boyfriends, and ex-lovers. Let me bring that back. I kind of speed read that and it didn't sound right to me. Trifling men who are a nuisance to society. Okay. So niggas who outside beating people up, pulling guns on niggas that ain't really do nothing, robbing innocent people need to be beheaded, my boy said. But many of the people screaming, protect me from these men in my tribe. So this goes back to a motherfucker can murder something, a robbery, going bad, kill him. People be like, free my brother. Bro, he killed somebody that was innocent. I can see if it was a war going on, his life was on the line. He caught a body because out of self-defense. That's different. But if you rob somebody and because they ain't have enough money to make you happy and you shoot them in the chest, bro, like, come on, man. Ain't no free him, man. That's not divine. That's not divine energy. Those type of people need to be beheaded. Why? Because these same trifling men are abusive sons, brothers, fathers, boyfriends, and ex-lovers. If they'll kill an innocent nigga, then they'll smack an innocent girl. I've seen coming up, I remember seeing people serve their own mother crack. I couldn't, coming from down south, I couldn't, that shit never registered with me. I'm a former drug dealer. I wouldn't even serve my boys' mothers. Somebody else got to do that. I never did it. It never felt right. And then I would watch the same people sell their own mother the shit. And they would say, well, I'd rather her get it from me than in the streets. So that's what he's talking about. Those people, if you serve crack to your mom, then you'll rob somebody innocent that ain't got shit to do with why you down and out. Because you serve your own mother, nigga. If you serve your own mother, you'll definitely backdoor me. You'll definitely come to my house, unlock the back door, leave. We all leave together, and you send a text, go in there and get all the TVs. And I think he got money in his room, in the drawer. I seen him go in there and pull out a couple hundred one day. You serve your own mother crack? You would definitely do that to somebody that you supposedly love because you serve your own mother hard. So we see too much of these type of individuals, and we let them, we let it ride, and we you know, these are the free hymns. Free him even though he did something wrong. Free him even though he's an informant. Even though he brung down all his friends who didn't even get caught. They wasn't even there. He brung them all down. Free him. Don't ask men outside your tribal space to protect you from ill-behaved men in your tribe unless you are prepared for their beheading. A hostile takeover of a new and improved government in your space and complete gentrification of your drink. Let me bring that back. Don't ask men outside your tribal space. You hear me? He said, don't ask men outside of your tribal space to protect you from ill-behaved men in your tribe unless you are prepared for their beheading. Unless you are prepared for a hostile takeover of a new and improved government in your space and a complete gentrification of your gene pool in your tribe. That means stop calling men of honor to eradicate men of no honor if you're still going to be tribal or you're not ready to shift your whole existence to be a part of or around people that are of the tribe that you're calling for assistance. Because all you're going to do is get somebody killed. And a lot of times to be the good person and be the person that you love the most, get something bad happen to them. Instead, give me permission to behead your father, your brother, your uncle, and your lover, especially if they fail to secure the throne. My guy. That's the end. The last sentence was deadly. He said, give me permission, a man of honor who secured the throne, to behead your very own father, your very own brother, your very own uncle, and your lover. Because men of high value feel like anybody could get it. Okay? Including your own father. And, from my experiences, I've seen a lot of things that I don't really want to bring up here, but I'm just saying, I see things where fathers touch their own daughters. Right? And then, these people don't want to press charges or tell nobody, and at that point, you got to ask yourself, did they want it? Because, or, do they not have anybody who that they can call? And if they don't, it's because they haven't aligned with people that they can trust who are high value that will come through and behead their own father. Whether it's, and we're not just talking about shoot them or kill them. We're talking about somebody that's going to say, hey, babe, listen, your dad touching you, I'm calling the cops right now. There's nothing to talk about. I'm going to call them. Right? Or don't tell me. Okay? So, with that being said, that's the end of tonight's call. Well, I said call, but YouTube. And, again, just some quick points. Just making sure, she bite. She's somebody there? Yeah, bring her. So, yeah. So with that being said, man, this YouTube is over. Again, Eli Markus, man, Secure the Throne. All right. Very powerful book. To get this book, it's not going to be on Amazon. It's not going to be on none of that. You got to legitimately hit Eli up and then go grab the book from him. All right. He'll make sure that you're good. He'll make sure that you receive your book. My boy just got his. Shouts out to my boy Isaiah. He got his book like a week or two ago. Okay. And I've been having my book for over a year. As you can see, I've read it. I've written in it. Again, do not coddle your books, right? If you feel like that, buy two, right? Buy two versions of the book. But I encourage people to write in their books, to underline in their books, right? To define words that they don't know the meaning of, right? It don't make you stupid. It really makes you smart. Because guess what? I just told you, a lot of people cannot read, period. So with that being said, we well over usually I try to stop at 2 hours. It was 2 hours and 30, I think, because I did a lot of talking in the beginning. And then I always pause and elaborate on what's being said in the book. But I feel like today, because I took a little bit of time off, it's been about 2 weeks since I dived into Secure the Throne. So maybe I was a little bit more into it than other times. I don't know. But hey, it's all divine timing. Shit, we spent a lot of time doing a lot of other bullshit. So with that being said, thank you for tapping in. I created a TikTok today. So I know as you can see, this video was 2 hours and 40 minutes. TikTok videos is very short. So I'm trying to balance it out and get more into saying less. But still have my shit just be still as impactful as if I did a 2 hour video. So that's my new thing I'm stepping into, because I've been doing this shit forever. Going live for an hour, going live for 30 minutes. Now I'm on YouTube doing 2 hour videos. So I do want to tap into that whole TikTok world and kind of shorten my message up, but have just as much impact. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, you already know. Tomorrow, make sure that and shouts out to Lee Royal. Make sure that you go to We Trade Sports, sign up for the half off. It's going to be $50. And then what happen is once I see your name come through the system, I'm going to refund you 25 of it to give you the half off, because you were very, very much giving me feedback today, and I like that. I love the comments. The more comments, the higher the algorithm. So I encourage the comments. I notice with every video, we're getting more and more people comfortable with typing stuff in the chat box. So with that being said, y'all already know peace, love, and light. But what's my favorite ending is what? Peace, love, and light. But first, you got to do what? The shadow work. So you already know. 100.